Can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. Types of government. So government जब बनती है तो कौन उनको पावर देता है? Like ये गवर्नमेंट बनेगी, उनको कौन सेलेक्ट करता है? Definitely the people have the power to select their own government.
Humans.
Citizens of that country. Okay. Now, in a democratic form of government, it is the people who gives the power to government. Now, they do this through the election, okay, in which they vote for particular persons and elect them. Once elected, these persons form the government. Democracy, the government has to explain its action and defend its decision to the people. Suppose कुछ चीज जैसे कि फ्री एजुकेशन अगर गवर्नमेंट ने प्रॉमिस किया है, if they have promised good roads, if they have promised free electricity, and if you don't get all these things, do you think you will again vote for that particular government? You will not vote again to that particular government. Whatever actions the government is taking, that is going to decide their fate. Another forms of government is monarchy. Monarchy, where king or queen will be there, and they have the power to make decisions and run the government. अगर वो लोग बोले monarchical form of government, राजा रानी उनके लोग जो हुए, प्रजा हुए, उनके मिनिस्टर्स हुए, एंड वो अगर बोल दिए कि चलो हमें आक्रमण करना है तो उनको आक्रमण करना है. वो अगर बोल दिए कि नहीं तुम्हें ऐसा नहीं करना है तो तुम्हें नहीं करना है. So ये लोग नहीं सेलेक्ट कर सकते वहां कि ना हम तुमको राजा बनाएंगे या नहीं. वो एक हेरिडिटरी रहता है, राजा का बेटा राजा ही बनता है. ओके, सो मोनार्की फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट वो होता है जहाँ किंग क्वीन है, उनका प्रिंस है, देन प्रिंसेस है, वो सब है. नाउ तो मोनार्की may have a small group of people to discuss matters with, but the final decision making power remains with the monarch. जो भी definitely कुछ मिनिस्टर्स रहेंगे, उनके साथ वो डिस्कस जरूर करेंगे प्रॉब्लम, बट जो फाइनल डिसीजन है क्या सही क्या गलत है, इट इज ऑलरेडी ऑलवेज टेकन बाय द किंग, द मोनार्क. Unlike in a democracy, kings and queens do not have to explain their actions or defend the decisions they take. मोनार्की में क्या होता है ना, वो तुमको प्रजा को बताने की जरूरत नहीं है मैंने ये क्यों लिया, कब खत्म करूंगा, कब क्या करूंगा. nobody will ask you. You are not supposed to. कोई तुमको आके पूछेगा नहीं कि क्या कर रहे हो क्या नहीं कर रहे हो. बट इन अ डेमोक्रेसी इफ समथिंग गोज रॉन्ग, सपोज Kejriwal said free education, good education in Delhi. If he doesn't give, people will not make him prime chief minister another time. So like that, if he's not doing work, he has to explain to his team, he has to explain to the people, those who have voted for him. So in democracy, the government is responsible for their action. Now, democratic governments kya hote hain? India is a democracy, very, very pure democracy, I should say. This achievement is the result of a long and eventful struggle of the Indian people. एक दिन दो दिन में नहीं बन गया. Okay, 1950 में, which is going to be 1950 means 72 years. 72 years की struggle के बाद ही हम लोग हम इस level पे पहुंचे हैं कि everything goes systematic. Okay, and we follow very, very democratic rules to govern in a systematic manner. There are other places in the world where people have also struggled to have democracies. Many countries are example where they like South Africa. Sri Lanka has a democratic country government. You know what the main feature of a democratic is? That the people have the power to elect their leaders. The main among everything is that in a democratic form of government, that people, they have the power to select कि कौन बनाएगा गवर्नमेंट, कौन आएगा पावर में. Okay? So in a sense, a democracy ruled by the people. How would you define democracy? Is that self? Is that the Siddharth, please mute yourself, child. Now, how many still participants are not listening? Why are you not keeping your camera on? Love Kush. So many times I said. Now, so in democracy, you can define it as a form of a government where people have the power to elect their leaders, and also you can say it is a rule by the people. Here, people rule. If you do a mistake, you are gone. Your post is gone. Okay. Now, the basic idea is that people rule themselves by participating in the making of these rules. Suppose, uh, see, why Narendra Modi is respected all over the world? Why? Because of his rules, whatever laws he has made, whatever development he has done for the country, whatever relationship he has with his neighboring countries. Okay, he has helped neighboring countries without asking them anything in return. Okay, he has very you know uh, dedicated and very faithful team which works day and night for the people. Okay, so if that goes for a toss, do you think he will again become a prime minister? No, he will not become if he doesn't do the proper job. People in politics, what happens when they want the vote? They will come to your house. They will plead you. They will fall on your feet. Please vote for us. I'll give you this much money, that much money. But when they come in power, when they win the election and they come in power, they forget about the promises. The promises of constructing hospitals, schools, roads, bridges, good water supply, 24 hours current supply. They forget about everything. So people have the power. Now, when they realize that no, this person is not doing enough for us, they will change their decision. They will never let that person come into the power once again. Now, democratic governments in our times are usually referred to as representative democracies. In representative democracies, people do not participate directly, but instead choose their representatives through an election process. So, हमारे एरिया में जब इलेक्शन होता है कि इस एरिया का कौन होगा person who is going to take care of this area for the everything. किस टाइम को ट्रैफिक क्लोज हो जाना चाहिए. In the sense, there is a night curfew during the corona time. So police along with the area head, the person who takes care, is responsible for the peace and harmony of that particular area. He alongs with police members, they make sure that nothing goes wrong, whether the all the hotels close by 10 o'clock or not. So these things make that person responsible and powerful. Definitely he should not misuse the power in a wrong way. So if he's not doing his job properly, I will not go and vote for him. So I have selected him because he's a good person, he is a responsible person through an election process where I have to choose my candidate. So all these things only will make a person rule for longer time if he's good. These representatives meet and make decisions for the entire population. So उन्हीं के लेवल में जितने भी रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स हैं जो हमारे देश के लिए काम करते हैं, दे कम एंड मीट ऑन रेगुलर बेसिस. प्रधानमंत्री ने मीटिंग बुलाई है, आपातकालीन मीटिंग, इमरजेंसी मीटिंग बुलाई है. सो क्या डिस्कस करने के लिए? डेफिनेटली देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम. दे ऑल शुड sit together and decide what the problem is, what the solution is. इस solution से हमें क्या क्या फायदा हो सकता है, क्या क्या नुकसान हो सकता है. अगर हम ये नहीं कर, they talk about things in at length. Okay, so and in government they have portfolios. Okay, किसी को पेट्रोलियम गया, किसी को एजुकेशन गया, किसी को रेलवे गया, किसी को टूरिज्म गया, किसी को हेल्थ गया, किसी को डिफेंस गया, किसी को एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स गया. एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स का मतलब होता है कि हमारे जो पूरे जो देश के साथ जो दूसरे देश है उनके साथ हमारा संबंध कैसा है, हम उनके साथ ट्रेड कैसे करें, हम उनके साथ कैसे बनाए रखें अच्छी दोस्ती. So external affair minister, do you know who is external affair minister abhi India ke? Who is defense minister? Who is home minister? Who is finance minister? Can anyone tell me now? Where are these children? Why all these children are out of their camera? Like, where are they? Now shall I start removing everyone?
Ma'am, your screen is only lagging, ma'am. On my video. Or it is coming black only.
Can you see? All of you see?
No, ma'am.
Can everyone see or not?
Ma'am, I can see the screen.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you see us?
I cannot. I can see only 4 children. Hardik, where is Hardik gone? Lavkush, Aditya Srivastav. Now, आप लोग बता सकते who is the president of India?
Ramnath Kovind.
Ramnath Kovind. Who is the prime minister of India? I'm talking about current.
Narendra Modi.
Narendra
Modi.
Who is the defense minister?
Ma'am, your screen is black.
Huh?
Ma'am, your screen is black.
I'm not showing my screen to anyone. I'm talking to you now. Who is the defense minister?
Rajnath Singh.
Yes, you are right, Rajnath Singh. Who is the home minister?
Amit Shah.
Yes, and who is the finance minister? You must
Read this.
know
I
these
forgot her name.
Nirmala Sitharaman. She's from South India.
Yeah, madam.
Nirmala Sitharaman is finance minister. Okay, so इन लोगों को एक पोर्टफोलियो दिया जाता है, आपको इसका ख्याल. Okay, who is the external affair minister? EAM, Ministry of MOEA, Ministry of External Affairs. He's a very brilliant person, excellent. See, I will show you my screen. Share my screen actually. He is S. Jaishankar. Shri S. Jaishankar. He is
Subramaniam Jaishankar.
Subramanian. Now I will show his picture. I don't want 25 rupees. Now, Subramaniam Jaishankar. Okay, he is Minister of External Affairs. Brilliant.
Ma'am, what's his word?
I want to see what Aradhya is doing. Aradhya?
Yes, ma'am.
Why are you doing some other work now? You're not seeing the screen from past 20 minutes I'm seeing.
Ma'am, I am saying.
You're writing something there down. Now, so he is S. Jaishankar. Okay, so S is for Subramaniam Jaishankar. He is foreign minister. See, whatever, anything goes wrong outside India, whether it is a relationship with our neighboring countries or any country, and definitely whenever anything is related to any Indian staying abroad, there are a lot of responsibilities on his head. Okay, so he is the external affairs minister, and he's very, very intelligent and very smart. You should see his speeches, where you will not be able to understand his speeches. Actually, he talks about all high level politics. Okay, मतलब थोड़ा different रहता है, हम हमारे और आपके समझ में उतना जल्दी अच्छे से नहीं आएगा. Okay, so he is external minister. I want everyone to know all the ministers, those who are taking. Now, who is taking care of? These are called as union ministers. See, union government, ministers of union government. Okay, union ministers are these. Suppose if I talk about who is sports minister, youth and sports minister. Who is a transport minister? Who is railway minister? Do you know? I want. Let me help you with this. Don't worry about it, but we should know. Okay?
Railway Minister is Ashwini Vaishya.
Ministers, union ministers of India. Now, do you know who is tribal minister now? Tribal minister. We must know. See here are all the ministers. All the ministers. See, this is Smriti Irani. Here she is. Okay. There should be a PDF which I can share. See here. So what all he does? Cabinet ministers. So here is Ministry of Home Affairs and Ministry of Cooperation, Amit Shah. Then Rajnath Singh. Then here Nitin Jairam Gadkari. He is Minister of Road Transport and Highways. Excellent he has done. Excellent work he has done. Believe me, you are children. You are still small, but you should know that these are the people responsible for the development and growth of our country. Okay. Now, Narayan Tatu Rane, I don't know. Tatu, I think. The Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise, SME Enterprises. SME it is called as. So, businesses. Now, Nirmala Sitharaman has two things, Corporate Affairs and Finance Minister she is. Narendra Singh Tomar is Agriculture Minister. Like this, this goes on. See here, Arjun Munda is Tribal Affairs. Okay, Smriti Irani is Women and Child Development. Mansukh Mandavya is Health and Family and Chemical Fertilizers. So not everything, but wherever you think, if you know everything, it's excellent. Okay. Now, if you talk about states, before that, we should know about our country. Okay, like Youth Affairs and Sports. Anurag Singh Thakur. I don't know whether you know this person. Anurag Singh Thakur. He is quite famous in Twitter.
Yeah,
Twitter
ma'am.
and all.
He is very famous.
Yeah.
Ma'am, he comes very much in news also.
Yeah. So he comes as spokesperson, and here Kiran Rijeju, Law and Justice. Before who is this? Forgot his name. Before Kiran Rijeju was sports minister, now he is Law and Justice. So Narendra Modi keeps shuffling them. Okay, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, Jal Shakti, Giriraj Singh, Ministry of Rural Development and Panchayat Raj. Jyotiraditya Scindia, he has joined our BJP recently. Okay, he is Ministry of Civil Aviation. He was in Congress before, he has joined recently. Now here Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, he is Ministry of Minority Affairs. Okay, minority means जो जाति कम नंबर में है, in the sense population में कौन कम है वो उनके मिनिस्टर हैं. Okay, so Piyush Goyal was railway minister before. Now he is commerce and industry and textile, consumer affairs, food and public distribution. Okay, so this if you know, it is going to be now. Anybody saying anything? Now, these days, a government cannot call itself democratic unless it allows what is known as universal franchising. This means that all adults in the country. Anybody saying anything to me? What?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me.
Good evening.
Who is that? Love Kush? Bolo. So, agar देखो, very important feature of democratic government is what? Universal adult. Yeah, tell me. लवकुश बोलो ना।
मैम ये वीडियो मिल सकती है ग्रुप में?
कौन सी वीडियो?
ये आप अभी जो पढ़ा रहे हैं,
ये जो मैं ये जो है जो लिख के रखी हूँ वो?
नहीं मैम, ये पूरा वीडियो।
That I don't know that I'm not sure. I will have to check.
Ma'am,
Why do you
please
want
tell
that,
him
love?
that if you want a video of this full class.
Okay. I'm actually not sure of that. So I will have to check. Atish?
Yes ma'am.
Lawkush, why exactly you need this, Lawkush?
Yes ma'am.
Why do you need actually? लवकुश, क्यों चाहिए आपको ये वीडियो?
मैम याद करने के लिए।
याद करने के लिए मैं पूछ के बताती हूँ। डोंट वरी अबाउट सो मच। कुछ भी उतना बस मैं जो बता रही हूँ आप उतना अगर सुनेंगे तो बस। ओके, मैं पूछ के बताती हूँ।
Okay, ma'am. Locus, you can means download see this video on YouTube. Okay, I will upload and you can see. If you want to watch this video, you can watch on YouTube.
Okay sir.
Okay. Normally we are not uploading all videos, but I will upload this one. Okay.
Okay sir.
Now there is also one more very interesting and very important. Aditya Gupta, यहाँ पे देखो please. See, very important feature of democratic government is that it has a very important thing called universal adult franchise. Means जो भी 18 years and above हो गए हैं वो लोग जाके अपना नेता चुन सकते हैं, वो वोट दे सकते हैं. Okay, so here this is what we'll be talking about here. This means that all adults in the country are allowed to vote. But it was not always like this. Can you believe that there was a time when governments did not allow women and the poor to participate in elections? Yes, there was a time जब औरतों को नहीं था allow वोट करने के लिए, एंड जो बहुत गरीब लोग थे उनको भी अलाउड नहीं था. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट ओनली इंडिया. फ्रांस में देखोगे, अगर यूरोप के बहुत सारे केसेस लोगे, अमेरिका का लोगे, तो you will find that this was situation when governments did not allow for women and poor to vote. In their earliest forms of governments, governments allowed only men who owned property and were educated and to vote. ये है फ्रांस का. एक्चुअली फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन में क्या हुआ, जब मोनार्कियल फॉर्म ऑफ सिस्टम था, तब क्या होता था कि केवल जो बहुत अमीर लोग हैं, जिसके पास प्रॉपर्टीज हैं, जो एजुकेटेड हैं, वही वोट कर सकते थे. धीरे धीरे स्ट्रगल करते करते अभी हम पहुंचे कि we are free in many ways. This meant that women, the poor, the propertyless, and uneducated were not allowed to vote that time. The country was governed by the rules and regulations that these few men made. जो भी लोग थे ना, जो बहुत powerful थे, they were rich, they owned property, educated, only those people were allowed to make the rules. They were part of forming the rules and regulations. In India, before independence, only a small minority was allowed to vote, and they therefore came together to determine the fate of the majority. In India too, before independence, बहुत small minority group था which was allowed to vote, and then they decided about our majority group. Now, several people, including Gandhiji, were shocked at the unfairness of this practice and demanded that all adults must have right to vote. This is known as universal adult franchisee. Now, Gandhi ji bhi, when he realized kya hua other countries mein and continents mein, then he said that no, this is a wrong practice. We all should, whosoever has achieved 18 and plus, because after 18 only you realize what is right and what is wrong for you and for the country. In his book, he wrote one book called a journal called Young India in 1931, which is very important question. What was the journal written by Mahatma Gandhi ji in 1931? They may ask. So it was called as Young India. I cannot possibly bear the idea that a man who has got wealth should have the vote, but a man who has got character but no wealth or literacy should have no vote, or that a man who works honestly by the sweat of his brow day in and day out should not have the vote for the crime of being a poor man. See, this he says that he cannot believe that no, जिसके पास धन संपत्ति है, पढ़ा लिखा है, केवल वही वोट कर सकता है, और जो इंसान पूरा खून पसीना लगा करके मेहनत से काम करता है, जो ऑनेस्ट है, वो वोट नहीं दे सकता है. So he wrote this in his journal, which was Young India, which he wrote in 1931, and he was surprised to find this. And when our constitution was getting made, when our rules and regulations, when we were framing our constitution, he had suggested the members of the Constituent Assembly to have those points in their minds, not to miss, like universal adult franchisee, and then rights for women, rights for minorities, rights for poor, rights for children. He had ideas, so he had suggested. So see, wherever we are, we have not come here at in a tick of a time, like this. No, not at all. We have suffered. Our ancestors, I'm not talking about monkeys and chimpanzees and all, they have not suffered at all. I'm talking about, if you go behind 70 years, those who fought for the freedom, those who wrote the constitution, those who realized the pain, from that time our struggle started. And more behind, if you go 200 years back, 250 years back, when you go, you will realize when the British came. Before that, when Mughals came, when our country was invaded by a lot of foreign people, foreign invaders looted our country, exploited our natural resources. So that time was the time we should never forget. I'm not saying jaake badla lo. No, not at all. We should struggle. And now we should maintain where we are. Okay. So this is yes.
What was wrote by Gandhiji?
It's a journal named.
Ma'am, in why in that time poor people will not vote?
See, there are reasons. Okay. We will talk about all that in the next class. I think so many participants are waiting here. Okay. Any doubts? Let us share in the next class. Okay. Bye bye and take care.
Bye, ma'am. Good night. Thank you for the class.
Bye and good night, ma'am.
Good night, ma'am.